Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game. Ren here, and if you're a fan of RPGs and general discussions about the games we all know and love, then you've definitely found friends in this channel. We post at least once a week on topics from pickup videos, new releases, to talking about the games that have reached hallowed status in my heart. So thank you so much for watching, and today we're getting into my top 5 games I want ported to the Switch. Let's check them out. Number 5, The Last Story. This is a game that has always appealed to me. The Wii is one of those systems that has never been accused of being a JRPG machine. But there are quite a few games on this system that should encourage a louder outcry of "Port me to the Switch." Hironobu Sakaguchi is a legend. The Last Story piqued my interest, and its praise is echoed by many other YouTubers. Some games stay at the top of your wish list, and this is one of mine. It would be incredible to have access to this game and so many other Wii games that flew under my radar. This is an early honorable mention, but by the Cadets of Camelot, I really want to try Sakura Wars. The nostalgic art style of The Last Story perfectly encapsulates those early 2000 teens. The hairstyles and art direction remind me of far simpler days when the Wii was still out and I had still not fully figured out how to use the internet to find more niche RPG releases. Luckily, I think this game's visuals still hold up, and you could slap an HD remaster on it and port it to the Switch. Please, Mistwalker. I really want to play this game. So many people missed out on this, and with some refining to the online component, new life could be breathed into this older game. Hironobu Sakaguchi is masterful in delivering stories that are both familiar and unique, appealing to the common elements that bind all of us together. Hopefully one day this game can jump out of the confines of the Wii and be introduced to modern-day audiences. Number 4, Baten Kaidos. Monolith Soft is one of those developers who releases automatically command my attention. It seems that over time, this game has become underrated. Unfortunately, I don't have access to a GameCube or even a Wii that could play GameCube games right now, and I'll admit, I'm one of those gamers that can be enticed to buy a game based solely on the artwork and even the box art. Porting a gem like this to the Switch might seem like an unlikely choice, but a card/turn-based RPG with a unique combat system combined with these specific character designs deserves a reboot. I've heard that the voice acting in this game is very bad, but for those of us who are suckers for nostalgia, sometimes that can be a good thing, right? The Wii and the GameCube have many solid games which have stood the test of time. I know the Switch has become known for a Wii U port machine, and that's a fact I'm okay with, but could we show some love to the GameCube and Wii as well? You'll see some pop up every once in a while, but there's still plenty of room for more attention. Monolith Soft has a knack for innovative landscape and art designs in their games. I will see stills from this game and become green with envy for all those that got to experience this game back when it first premiered on the GameCube. With Monolith Soft's team loaded with talent, it would be a worthy investment to port their games from the GameCube to the Switch to introduce new players who will in turn become new fans. Number 3, The Legend of Heroes Crossbelt Arc. 2020 has been a rough year for all of us, Jeff Bezos excluded. However, something good did come out of it. I discovered the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel series. I want so badly to play all the games, but the one that is really calling out to me is the Crossbelt arc. All of the characters are so remarkable for this entire series, but great Scott, I want to play as Lloyd from the Crossbelt arc. The Crossbelt games can be emulated and played on a fan translation, but gosh darn it, I want this to be ported to America and the Switch. I do not have anything against fan translations, especially for those games that have not yet been ported, But that being said, I believe the Legend of Heroes series is really picking up steam in America, and the days are numbered for it to be ported onto the Switch. This series offers striking combat mechanics and animations. I am shocked that they have not already officially released this in America yet. I recognize that all new games and remakes require a ridiculous amount of time, but I wish time could hurry along in this case especially. The cast and crew is so enjoyable in the Cold Steel series, and I know the Crossbelt arc will be so fun to play, and that's because of trusted sources on YouTube. If it comes to it, then I'll eventually have to figure out how to play the fan translation, but it would be such a pleasure to be able to throw more money at Falcom for this title. I'm a mega fan of the story from the Cold Steel games. Even the ancillary characters that show up in Cold Steel are well developed, and they leave me longing to play their own storylines. Sadly, a lot of the Legend of Hero games are on systems that I don't have access to. This series requires commitment and dedication, so buckle up, and the Switch is the perfect system for grinding through massively long games. Falcom is a gutsy developer, and I totally love it. They have created one of the largest interconnected stories in all of JRPGs. I love it, but I want to be able to save transfer all of them. Ultimately, they should ensure the entire series is ported to the Switch, even if it's just digital downloads, and that's saying something coming from a physical game collector. Number 2, Xenoblade Chronicles X. It was pretty tough for me to choose between this game or the Xenosaga series, but in the end, I think this port makes perfect sense. The Wii U has some passionate fans, but unfortunately the system just never took off. The Switch has offered a second life for Wii U games such as Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE Encore. Xenoblade Chronicles X has mechs in it. Number 1. Okay, just kidding. I love a good mech game, but man, the visuals and world building in the Xenoblade series are enthralling. I want to play this game so bad. I've had discussions at length with myself about whether it would be stupid to buy a Wii U just to play this game. I mean, who would do that, right? But I digress. Making Xenoblade Chronicles 3 would make the most sense since Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was just remade and put on the Switch. But I secretly hope and pray that there is a team over at Monolith working on bringing this planet trekking action RPG mech simulator over to the Switch. Whew. I recently finished Xenogears on the Vita and I was mesmerized by the story. I want Xenosaga 1 through 3, and I want to experience the epic that is Xenoblade Chronicles X. You know, it's odd because I've heard a mix of opinions on this game more so than any other entry in the Xeno universe. Now, I want the opportunity to experience it for myself. I am such a sucker for games with vast worlds to explore. The base concept has my interest peak, discovering a world, and then trying to make it viable for human settlement. You know, even though Mass Effect Andromeda crashed and burned, I have very high hopes for this game. I will play this game one way or another before it's over, but it would be a dream come true for this Wii U game to make the porting cut for the Switch. Before we talk about my number 1 game I want ported to the Switch, I have some honorable mentions that would make me stupid happy if they could come to the Switch. Persona 4 Golden. Sweet Lord of the Rings, port this and Persona 3 to Switch Atlas. I love you, but throw a JRPG fan a bone here. Also, Falcom, please port Ys Memories of Celceta and Ys Arcane Pistum. I am such a fan of this series, but sadly I don't have access to a PS2 to play Arcane Pistum on, and while I've heard tales of this game's difficulty, I'll take all the Ys I can get in my life. My last honorable mention for today's video is the Devil Survivor series. These games taunt me every time I see a top list for 3DS RPGs. Nowadays, these are rare finds and the prices are skyrocketing. Porting this game to the Switch would preserve the rarity of the 3DS copies, yet give the ability to be played by hordes of new fans of the SMT series. I have been on a frantic spree to get my hands on every 3DS SMT game. They are absolutely one of my favorite new series, and I would lose my mind to play them on Switch. And without any more delay, number 1, Persona 5 Royal. This should come as a surprise to no one who has watched videos on my channel. I'd apologize if it wasn't for the fact Persona 5 Royal is in a pantheon all its own. There is a reason the Persona community is ravenous for this port. The base Persona 5 can run on the PS3, and honestly, I'd be okay with the base Persona 5 to be ported at this point. I've only played Persona 5 Royal, but let me tell you, if Atlus could port Persona 5 Royal to the Switch, they would make global news as the heroes the world needs right now. To be able to tackle this 100-hour plus journey on the convenience of the Switch would be a dream come true. I've already praised this game enough on the channel, but for those of you out there who have not played this nigh flawless JRPG, then I hope beyond hope that this giant comes to the Switch for you. When I close my eyes at night, I long to have the power of the Phantom Thieves coursing through my fingertips, navigating the palaces of Persona 5 Royal, trying to delay the inevitable orders to go to bed. Persona 5 Royal was one of those rare games that comes around in my life that leave a permanent impact on my heart. When it comes to turn-based games, Persona and SMT are my all-time favorite, and they have the best mechanics in turn-based combat. Bringing the Persona and SMT series to the Switch community would just continue to solidify its standings as one of the greatest systems for JRPGs ever created. Could it surpass the 3DS, the PS2, or dare I say even the Nintendo DS? Probably not, but hey, one can always hope. Well guys, there you have it. There's my 5 games I need ported to the Switch. Not an exhaustive list, so let me know down in the comments what 5 games you need ported to the Switch. I look forward to reading them. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep hanging out in the future. And until then, I'll see you all next time.